it's awesome. Most of it's kind of what you expect as far as the professional gaming aspect and the training and the regimen that comes with it, the excitement of the tournaments and stuff. What I didn't expect was how much effort it takes to stay on top. You can't just, the problem with Rainbow, I guess the good part of Rainbow Six, but it's not just the mechanics, there's so much strategy to it, it's always evolving. The meta changes at least every 3 months, so it's a grind, but something I've always wanted. I'm glad I'm in. The biggest thing is just scrimming teams. It's you kind of just let the meta go naturally. It never sits in one place, so usually by the end of the season the meta stabilizes, but then it resets with the next DLC. So the proper way of handling it is coming up with stuff yourself, trying it against teams, refining it, but at the same time seeing how other players, other teams start to do things. Basically you incorporate maybe their ideas or you build off of their ideas, and eventually people figure out what's strongest and what should be done. Again, probably the time it takes. You gotta sacrifice a lot of stuff. It's not gloomy or anything like that. But usually if you ever want to go out on weekends, you kind of have to grind, especially when you're prepping for a tournament like a major here. You just gotta focus up, and you gotta do very repetitive stuff. So you may feel like you've mastered something, but you have to continue to practice it, otherwise eventually someone's gonna be better. It's kind of tough. I'm working right now, so I spend a lot of time either working or the gaming thing. You just gotta make sure that when you have off days, you actually use the off days. Like you go out, whether it's family or friends or traveling or whatever it is. You just got to make sure that you're not wasting any time gaming or doing something else that's a waste of time when you're not practicing. It's probably not content related. I think the best thing would probably be either hit reg if it's to improve the game or like what's currently in it, but I think a huge thing would be like a replay system. I think some sort of replay theater system would probably be the biggest thing to actually improve the competitiveness of Siege, to raise the ceiling.
Do you communicate a lot with Ubisoft about these kind of things?
Yeah, so Ubisoft, they communicate through Discord and through email, and I think there's a pretty continuous, clean dialogue between the developer and the player, and hopefully it's only going to get better and better as the time goes. I think, so if everyone is playing very well, it might be NBK. I think Pengu has obviously shown, statistically and even just watching, that he usually is the better player, but I think if NBK is having a good day, I don't think anyone can rival him. Probably MBK. He's a lot younger than me. He's almost, 7 years younger than me, so we don't have a lot in common as far as like life experience and stuff like that, but I think we're both very relaxed and calm, and so it's just, it's easy to get along.
So I can ask, what is your age?
I'm 27.
27. A lot of players are a lot younger.
A lot younger, yeah.
How do you deal with that?
It's honestly not a big deal. From a game standpoint, my skills are on par with them, if not above a lot of them. I think a lot of it is just not letting yourself get burnt out, knowing how to train and keep your skills up there. And I guess once you really reach the age of like 19, 20, as far as personality goes, like who you are, it's all the same. So the age difference, like it's getting along and stuff like that, it's not a problem at all.
So you say it's like a myth that older people can't, older compared to the rest, can't handle?
Yeah, I would say so. I don't have any like scientific proof or anything, but I think a lot of it is people, especially my age, they tend to focus more on like work and social things, whether it's like marriage or anything. A lot of people have kids by my age, so a lot of it I think is just focus. It has nothing to do with your physical ability. It's hard to say. Usually when you're playing professionally, the goal is always, at least as far as the game is related, is just to increase like your ability, constantly improve, either get closer to winning or winning. For me specifically, it's just winning as many majors as possible, trying to create a dynasty on EG. I would like to work in the esports industry. It's hard to say where I'd like to go, but it's something I should definitely think about. As far as like coaching goes, that would all depend on like when I retire and the current state of the scene and things like that. I don't have a specific question. It'd probably be Fabian. I kind of just want to know the atmosphere and like the nature of his team and the communication and how they train and why they do things. It's hard to know how other teams differ from you, whether it's during training or in the game. So I would just like to communicate with him and figure out how G2 differs from each other.